People who have experienced angels realize that they come to us in various forms. But regardless of the form in which they appear, they often bring a sense of comfort and somehow manage to help us overcome our fears. In the stories you're about to see, we are reminded that through the work of angels, God frequently provides comfort and strength while protecting us from some very real dangers. In our first story, a woman delivers a message that saves the life of a young soldier. While halfway around the world, another woman, or perhaps the same angel, delivers a message of love and comfort. Jamie Wolfe had only been married a few months when her husband was called to active duty during the Gulf War. Though both would have preferred it otherwise, circumstances were such that she was alone when her baby girl was born. The loneliness was made worse by the fact that her pregnancy and the birth had been complicated and difficult. The one bright spot was her beautiful new daughter.
I just wished her father could have been here today.
Yeah, me too.
Jamie had married Jim Wolfe, a radio expert on active reserve in the United States Army. When his unit was called up, Jim had no choice but to leave. For several days after the baby was born, Jamie had tried to get through to Jim's unit, but to no avail.
Do you mind if I turn on the news?
Oh, please. I mean, I'm sure you want to know what's going on. What with your husband being in Saudi Arabia and everything.
Jamie's hospital roommate, Melanie, was also recovering from a complicated pregnancy, so the two had come to be very good friends in a short time. Now Melanie shared every bit of Jamie's interest in the unfolding events in Saudi Arabia. Jamie knew the name of her husband's unit, and every chance they got, they watched the television news, hoping to see some sign of where Jamie's husband might be. Occasionally, Melanie's mother and father would stop by to see their daughter. These were difficult moments for Jamie. To her, the warm glow of a happy and complete family was just another reminder of how alone she really was.
There is a report just in from Riyadh. According to the INS news service, a missile believed to be one of the Iraqi Scuds just moments ago made a direct hit on a warehouse near Riyadh. The warehouse was being used as barracks for an Army communications unit, the 253rd Signal Battalion.
The news broadcast filled Jamie with fear. The 253rd was Jim Wolfe's unit.
Officials are saying there were no survivors.
Shortly after midnight, a woman came into the room.
Oh. Hi. Are you looking for Jamie Wolfe?
Whoever this mysterious woman was, her deep love and affection for Jamie was immediately apparent. And Melanie could see that just her touch had an instant calming effect on her friend.
That's her little girl. She's beautiful, isn't she?
the woman turned her attention to Melanie. In that instant, Melanie became aware of a voice. Nothing out loud, but a voice nonetheless.
Yes?
And there was no mistaking the message. Despite the strange
Are you
woman's
sure?
total silence, Melanie completely understood.
Nurse Drake, there's a woman in here that I want you to meet who I swear was in here.
Just as suddenly as she had come, the mysterious woman disappeared. At that moment, Jamie woke up, refreshed and relaxed for the first time in several days.
Wow, did I sleep well?
You had a visitor.
What?
I can't explain this. And I know it sounds crazy. She didn't say anything to me.
Melanie
She just
quickly
looked at
relayed
me.
the message the woman
And
had
she
given
gave me a
her.
message about Jimmy.
Jamie's husband was
And you
alive
don't
and
have to
well,
worry anymore because he's
and on
coming
his way home. Jamie's condition quickly improved, and by the next day she was ready to return home with her daughter. She had found it difficult to believe what her friend told her about the strange visitor, but she was about to learn that that was only the beginning of this miraculous story.
I wasn't in the barracks when the Scud missile hit. I had gone out in the Jeep when this Arab woman came to me with a hand-drawn map.
After hearing of Jamie's mysterious visitor, Jim couldn't wait to explain exactly how he'd gotten separated from his unit. It was Jim's job to wrap up the communications gear after everyone else had gone and bring it to the new location. He and a companion had just loaded the last of the radio equipment and were getting ready to pull out when suddenly a woman appeared out of nowhere and approached the vehicle. She told him she'd been sent to tell him his unit would be waiting at a new location. She gave him a map so he would be sure and find the right place. Ordinarily, he wouldn't even have spoken to a native woman, but there was something about her eyes. She had blue eyes. The map the woman gave him had placed him in a deserted part of the city. When the Scud missile struck the barracks and wiped out his entire unit, he was nowhere near their location. A young mother who needed her husband. A baby girl who needed her daddy. Needs somehow important enough that God provided protection and comfort through the work of an angel.
It gave me a very calm sense of inner peace, and I put it in Emerald's baby book, and I think it's going to mean a lot to her someday when she grows up.
Well, it was like an August night, really hot, and I was laying awake in bed having a hard time falling asleep from the heat, and just all of a sudden heard a creaking noise in the floorboards. All of a sudden there was like this black figure, looked like a silhouette almost of a man. I couldn't make out any details, it was just really dark. Just said, "Look outside your window, girl." And then it moved on. I was just paralyzed with fear, I couldn't move. And then I heard a scraping noise at the bedroom window. And when I looked out the window, there was a man. He had cut the screen, he was pulling back the screen. And I just ran to the kitchen, turned on all the lights on my way to get the phone, and called the police. Well, they came a few minutes later and had found footprints outside the bedroom window and the screen where it had been cut. And they caught, I guess, a man a couple blocks away from there that had prior convictions on burglary and breaking and entering charges, and they arrested him. I felt at that point that, I must have been, really lucky to have this, guardian or whatever to prevent the danger that could have happened.
It's often hard to see what good can come out of a tragic happening. But sometimes, through the help of an angel, we receive comfort and strength to go on. When the mines at Flat Creek began to close, Mark and Kathy Hodges, with their daughter Megan, were among the few who were determined to stay.
For every time I hear your voice, makes it worse.
Mark's skill as a furniture maker was their hope for the future.
Mark, it's beautiful.
Thanks, honey. Just wish it didn't cost so much to put together. We're barely breaking even on this one.
You can always raise your rates.
Folks can hardly afford this stuff as it is. Besides, everybody's leaving town. I'm running out of customers.
We could use cheaper materials? I was hoping you'd say that. Come on, you've been working all day. Take a break.
Nope, not done yet.
You have the soul of an artist.
And the bank account to match.
We're gonna get through this, honey.
Sing me a song.
Not now, honey.
You never sing anymore. You used to always sing to me.
Yeah. I want you to play too. It'll be fun.
Kathy.
Remember this one? Just a little bit.
Okay.
Not long ago, Mark had been an enthusiastic guitarist and a budding songwriter. But in recent times, he'd very seldom picked up the instrument, and he'd completely stopped writing.
Don't tell me that you are hurt.
Daddy used to play all the clubs.
Don't tell
He even wrote his own music.
It was the best, huh?
Your heart
Still is.
broken too. For every time I hear your voice,
Somebody's that fun.
makes it worse. Those eggs aren't the only thing sizzling around here.
I'll take that as a compliment.
I get this fan on.
On that particular summer day, the temperature had started climbing early, and the heat only conspired to make a bad day more uncomfortable.
The Sherman Coal Company voted to lay off an additional 500 workers from the Flat Creek mine. This brings the total number of workers laid off to 1,500 in the last 12 months. In other news, the city council...
Rick and Beth must be heartbroken.
It's the last thing they need right now.
They were really counting on Rick being rehired next month. I know, maybe we should get them some groceries.
It's a good idea. I'll take them down myself.
If Rick's got no food, does that mean Tommy's hungry?
Selfless giving was a trademark of the Hodges family. Far from being wealthy themselves, they still felt sufficiently blessed to share with anyone else in need.
Well, it's finishing time. I guess it's about time for a new one of those.
Between the fumes and the stifling heat, an open window and an aging ceiling fan were scarcely enough. The varnish, left open as it had been many times with perfect safety, would today be part of a bizarre once-in-a-million accident.
Morning, Bill.
How you doing?
Good.
Got another delivery for you.
Great.
Hey, let me just help you unload it. Let's put it down right over here. Great.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot. See you in a couple weeks.
Mommy, Daddy.
Kathy, where is Megan? What room is she in? Megan! Megan! Unit 4, we have one female victim with like smoke inhalation.
My husband and daughter are inside.
Looks like we got 2 more inside. Boom! That's it! Nobody else goes back inside!
My daughter's in there.
Let's go back in there.
Megan!
Mark and Kathy Hodges watched helplessly as the volunteers battled the blaze. Each second that passed seemed a lifetime. And yet, Mark and Kathy never gave up hope that somehow their daughter would escape.
Don't tell me that you're sorry. Don't tell me that you are hurt. Don't tell me your heart is broken too. For every time I hear your voice, it makes it worse. Don't give up.
He opened the lock and let me outside and gave me these.
Mark, they were on the top shelf. She had no way of reaching them.
We got it under control.
Oh, thank you.
Is this your little girl?
Sure is.
She is.
You're a very brave little girl. I'm sorry we couldn't save anything.
It's all right. I think we have everything that we need right here.
We were afraid you weren't going to make it out, little one. By the way, how did you get out?
She thinks she saw somebody let her out the back door.
The back door? Let me show you something. This way, folks, up the step. The fire was so intense, the dead bolt melted. It fused to the door jamb right here, see? I mean, we tried to get in this way, but this entrance is already sealed off, long before your daughter got out. Nobody went through this door, folks.
But that's the way I got out.
Somebody was really looking out for your little girl.
Well, looks like I need a new job.
Looks like it.
Any ideas?
Don't tell me that you're sorry. Don't tell me that you are hurt. Don't tell me your heart is broken too. For every time I hear your voice, it makes it worse.
Are you his wife? He's great. I hope they bring him back next week.
Thanks. We also make furniture.
Really?
Don't say that you're loving.
Many people believe that each of us has the power to make our lives whatever we wish them to be. It may well be, however, that some of us, in some way we do not fully understand, are favored with a helpful push in the right direction by the protecting hand of God's angels.
And it was not a dream, it wasn't an illusion, and it wasn't a vision or a hallucination. It really happened. And he saved me from being badly burned. I'm very grateful that he did, and it was startling and amazing to me that it really did happen.
In the stories we have just seen, neither great distances nor impossible circumstances were any barrier to carrying out God's plan. And it would appear that angels are often chosen to provide comfort and protection in times of sorrow and danger.